Page 4, the First Noel. 3/4 time, no sharps or flats, using all the white keys. It has a pickup beat. Let's talk about this one hand at a time, starting with the right hand. You're starting with third finger on an E. That puts you in this position to start. Not going to stay there, but just, okay. It's coming in on beat 3. 3 and 1. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. So that dotted quarter note, 1 and 2 and 3. And the thumb plays the F. Now we're in this position. It's like a C major scale. Start with the C in the first full measure. Forget the rhythm. Just play all the notes all the way up to the C. It's a C major scale. And that's the fingering for it. So if you're doing the C major scale, and I hope you are, 1 octave up and down, please. This is a piece of cake. So again, at the beginning, 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and. And the second line, lift up at the end of the phrase. Just lift up a little bit so there's a little silence. And then you go to the end of the page there on page 4, you're here. And then to go to page 5, they say second finger. That's okay. I see no reason why you can't go to third finger. You need third finger for the 8th note. So it's up to you whether you use second or third, as far as I'm concerned. If you have a teacher, they'll tell you what they want you to use. But for me, you can cross over with third finger too if you want. It's the end of a phrase you got to lift up. So even if you use 2, you got time to put your third finger on it. And you do that again. Now go to the second line there on page 5 at the last 2 measures. You're here. Now here again, you got to cross over, but it's up to you, as far as I'm concerned, whether you use second finger or third finger to play the E. Because in the next line, you need third finger. And we get this type thing. And then at the end, you have to cross over the thumb again. There's second finger's fine because you're done. Doesn't matter. Left hand. You have a C chord at the beginning. All 3 of those notes are timed. You see all of them? You're going to hold that down for 5 counts. But don't worry, you don't get bored because the right hand will keep you entertained. It's got stuff going on. And then you lift up for beat 3. We got a quarter rest, and then we go to the F chord, or the 4 chord. And then a 1 chord again, a C chord, and a rest. Last measure on page 4, 1 and 2. There's no rest there, so it's all sound. Connect the G with the first notes on page 5. Here. Try and get them down at the same time if you can, and then there's a rest, and we do that some more. And that's pretty much it for the left hand. Just, yeah. So work it out one hand at a time. Make sure you got the fingering and the rhythm and all that, and then try putting the hands together. 2. And when you play the 8th notes, the left hand comes up. Then lift up. It's a new phrase. Rest in the left hand. Lift the end of the phrase. That. You work the piece out. It's pretty repetitious. It's not a fast piece. It's not a real slow piece. It's a nice ballad type, wonderful an evening piece. But I'd like to play it with you so you can double check your notes and rhythms. Now there are verses to this. There's 2 verses between the stabs, and there's 2 more at the bottom of page 5. So if you're going to sing the verses and all, then you need to pretend there's a repeat sign at the end of page 5, and you just keep repeating it. Now the words in the verses only go to the verses. You see over on page 5, the 3rd line down, it says refrain, the same as a chorus. Those words don't change. So all of the words you're shown at the bottom of page 5 go to all of the stuff before the refrain. You should be done with those words, and trying to figure out which word goes with which note is a nice, interesting puzzle sometimes, but you can find recordings of this, I'm sure. So I'm going to give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. And so put your hands in C position to start. And here we go. Ready and go and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1, 2 and rest. 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 1 and 2 1, 2 and